Hello everybody and welcome in today's video. In today's video we are going to talk about the narratives for the Bitcoin bull run that we are seeing right now, because people guys are investing in stories and emotions, and that's why narratives are very important, as we have seen with previous bull market. If you only knew the narrative already before we actually saw that narrative really playing out, you could very easy select the tokens you are going to invest in, as these narratives will pop up to the upside as a group. So guys, join me today in this beautiful studio setup with a nice cup of tea right here, and let's start with the first narrative. And the first narrative, guys, I think it's pretty obvious for me. These are decentralized exchange tokens. And why is that? First of all, guys, we have DYDX, which is the biggest decentralized exchange out there with the highest trading volume. We already seen a lot of strength in that specific token. What we also see is that, especially in the future, more and more countries, they are starting to disagree with one and another. So we do get more countries, they want to force regulations onto their citizens, and that's why we see also in the past year basically a lot of exchanges, they moving from country to country, and then suddenly by a centralized exchange, for example Bybit, suddenly doesn't offer their services anymore in the United Kingdom or in the United States. We've seen what happened with Binance. Binance got completely taken over by the United States. Basically the CEO is stepping down. So as you can see, like, governments and institutions are hammering down on regulations, and one way to avoid these regulations is by decentralized exchanges, because there is no central entity that is controlling these transactions and so on. And of course they can be banned, but for now they are not banned, and I think that that is a very important narrative for the coming bull market, as there will be a lot of people in specific regions of the world, they only can use a decentralized exchange, because centralized exchanges are blocking the IP addresses from that country, and with a VPN you might have the risk that you cannot withdraw your funds because you do use an exchange with a VPN. I don't say that there is any risk of that, but I can really see a lot of people going to decentralized exchanges instead of centralized exchanges. So that is the first narrative. And do take in mind, guys, I like decentralized exchanges. I'm using myself also sometimes decentralized exchanges, but I would never invest in these tokens for the longer term time frame. Like, the narratives that I'm talking about in today's video are really for this bull market in short amount of times in altcoin seasons, to basically get a lot of money while trading. And I'm not intending to buy these tokens and then hold them for 5 or 10 years in the hope that they will become an established project in the future, because as you guys know, we do expect some heavy wins for the regular financial markets and for crypto in a couple of years. Like, and a recession is coming, and I definitely don't want to be invested in any altcoin if something like that happens. Then we go to the second narrative, guys, and the second narrative are Bitcoin NFTs. We've already seen a lot of hype around Bitcoin NFTs and Ordinals. We have seen the first altcoin on Bitcoin, which is Ordi. We've seen that one completely taking off from the lows, roughly between $3 and $4. It went up to $60. We were actually very early investors in Ordi, and we were actually seeing the potential very early. I was one of the only YouTube channels very early on that was talking about Ordi. And the thing is with Ordi, guys, what I saw in Ordi, or what I see in Ordi, is that it's not that there is a great functionality. No, I see a narrative. That's the same with the Bitcoin NFTs. I see a narrative, and I'm only investing in a narrative. I'm not investing because the token can do the transaction very fast, or the token has this and this easy smart contracts, blah blah blah. No, I'm investing in the narrative. What are people going to think? How people do get emotionally FOMO to buy something, because that's what you want. You want that a very big group of people in the space, they want that they get that FOMO feelings for the altcoin that you are positioned in. Right? And with Audi, for me, the narrative was this is the first ever created altcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain. The first ever. So if Bitcoin is going to do good, this at least gonna have some sentimental value, right? Like similar with the NFTs, guys. Bitcoin NFTs, early Bitcoin NFTs, they will have historical or sentimental value because they were one of the first NFTs on Bitcoin. Right, so that's why I really like these narratives, Bitcoin NFTs. And what I also really like is that we've already seen this with Ethereum. So Ethereum also had NFTs, the previous bull market, that went completely crazy. It went crazy though at the end of the bull market, I do have to say that. But it went completely crazy. Billions of US dollars were flowing into Ethereum NFTs. And I think if Bitcoin would even come close to what we've seen with Ethereum, then we are going to see a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin NFTs. But I think there is even a possibility that Bitcoin NFTs, the hype in Bitcoin NFTs, will surpass the hype that we've seen with Ethereum, because Bitcoin is a more significant token. It is the best cryptocurrency out there. Like Michael Saylor always says, there is no second best. There is no second best. No, it's Bitcoin. The whole community, the whole movement, this whole revolution only evolves around Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's not there, nothing's there. Only CBDCs. And that is something we don't want, right? We are in this space because of Bitcoin. We'd like to trade altcoins, we like to speculate, because we are kind of like, we just like to make money, right? We like to be active in the space. We like the thrill. We're just a bunch of degens like throwing money at things which has absolutely no value in the hope to get more money. That's just how the space is for now. That's good to accept, because if you can go along with that, you can actually make a lot of money, right? But we also have to recognize the fact that Bitcoin is the revolution. Bitcoin is the movement. Bitcoin is the most important token. That's why I'm also thinking about the Bitcoin narrative for Bitcoin NFTs that could even surpass the narrative for Ethereum NFTs. Then let's go to the third narrative, guys. And you probably have heard about this narrative for sure, because we have seen a lot of hype around ChatGPT, and that is of course artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a new technology that will be completely adopted by human beings, at least in the next coming years. More and more programs, software will all make use of services, will all make use of artificial intelligence. And we are right now very early in the kids' shoes, basically. And I think this is also a very important narrative for this bull market, because a lot of people, and we've actually already seen a lot of strength in AI tokens, but I think a lot of investors, they would like to invest in AI projects, especially AI projects which already have seen a lot of strength in their charts and already maybe have a working product and not a promise for the future. So AI is going to be very important too. Then guys, we have the fourth narrative. Yes, the fourth one, and that is a bonus narrative. And this is a narrative where I don't know much about. I didn't do much research into, and I'm also not invested in this one, but I just wanted to share it in today's video because maybe it speaks to you and you want to do some research and you want to invest in that narrative. But that is crypto gaming. I heard a lot of people talking about crypto gaming. And yeah, like I said, I'm not invested in these tokens. I know that some tokens took off, some are doing good. There are definitely projects that are building crypto games. So games implemented with crypto. I don't even exactly know how this works. Like I said, I don't know much about it. I know a lot about decentralized exchange. I know a lot about AI, as we're also starting with a AI project. I know a lot about Ordinals because I did research into all of those factors, and I can see the narrative. I can see the need for people to use these things. I can see the FOMO stage, the hype stage for these narratives. For the gaming narrative, I can imagine it too, but I just don't know too much about it. That's why I just want to give it as a bonus narrative. Probably some gaming tokens will do pretty good, but it is for you, up to you to do your own research in which tokens you would like to buy, or if you like that narrative more than other narratives. Or sometimes it's also good to diversify, right? Maybe not invest only in one narrative, but take all 4 or take 3 of the 4 narratives and diversify your portfolio in there for the next altcoin season. That brings me to the next point, guys. When are we going to see that hype? Well, the most important thing, when is, like, to pinpoint it on an exact date is going to be a bit difficult, because maybe we follow the regular 4-year cycle, right? Then we maybe see a top in 2025. Maybe we follow the 16-year cycle, it looks like right now. Then we form a top, maybe even Q1 2024. So there are, in the macro perspective, there are some cycles that have completely different outcomes. So one thing we don't know, and that we do know, and that is that altcoins and this hype around altcoins often completely explodes at the end of the rally of Bitcoin. So the moment that Bitcoin tops, we have a clear blow off top where we just, like, your friends start to call you about Bitcoin. We see a complete big green candle in Bitcoin touching a very important resistance level, for example, followed by a big red candle, like a really blow off top event where we have a crazy amount of volume in the markets and so on. That is the moment that you want to take your profits that you just got with Bitcoin, you want to let them flow into these narratives, because most likely these narratives will do pretty good, and some projects in these narrative will already bottom against Bitcoin before Bitcoin tops. Because the higher Bitcoin goes, the more attention that will be drawn into the space, the more money will flow into the space. Because without Bitcoin, this is again why Bitcoin is so important, Bitcoin is drawing all the attention to the space. And the attention makes that people start to look into these projects again. And when they start to look into the projects again and things are going up, they start to get these FOMO emotions. This is the natural part of the market cycle. I've seen this already multiple times. Then they start to get these feelings of FOMO because Bitcoin is going up and then Ethereum is going up, and then they just start to spread the money in all of these altcoins. And most of the time retail does make a little bit money at the end of the bull market, but most of the time they end up losing money because they are always the last part of the cycle, the last part where they basically exit liquidity. So often they do enter, and in the months ahead you do see the prices continue to increase. Bitcoin then already topped, but then you see altcoins going crazy, but then eventually you see everything starts to bleed again with a bear market, like we have seen in the past as well. And I don't think this time is going to be different. In fact, I even think that this time it can be even worse than previous bear markets. I talk about that in my other videos from the 16-year cycle. So if you are interested in that, guys, make sure to watch that video. If you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you like the new studio setup, also let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any other narratives that you are looking at right now in the crypto space that you think I've overlooked in this video, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below, and I will have a look at that and I might bring it up in the next videos. Guys, I want to thank you all for watching, wish you all a beautiful day, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.